What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade coming to y'all with that hot topic analysis. We're going to talk about the trade that just ended up happening a couple minutes ago. Um, the Miami Heat traded for Norman Powell. They got him from the Los Angeles Clippers in a three-team trade that involves the Utah Jazz. The Clippers will actually get John Collins. They were looking for a strong, small power forward to go along with Zubac. Obviously, they already got Kawhi Leonard for the three. They got James Harden for the two, and they're still trying to figure out their point guard situation. Collins can make a three. He can score in the paint. He can set screens. He can also do dribble handoffs, and he can roll strong to the rim. That's what they end up getting in John Collins. With the Jazz, they will receive Kevin Love, Kyle Anderson, and a 2027 second round pick from the Clippers. The Clippers been giving up all day picks for these veterans. It makes sense because they still feel like they have a window with Kawhi Leonard, and they're trying to find a way to keep that window open as long as they can because they still feel like they're contenders. They feel like Norman Powell was a great player for them. He had one of his best seasons and was one of the biggest reasons why they had a lot of success and finished as a 50-win team last year, even though Kawhi Leonard didn't even play 40 games. But it makes sense for the Jazz to get a pick out of John Collins. He wasn't really helping you win anyway, even though he was one of their better offensive players. He's limited and he only does, a good job, not a great job, not an all-star job. But this is a guy that can produce numbers. And if you fit him in the right situation and get his head game right, mentality-wise, he could be a difference maker for you. Will he be better than Norman Powell? I think that's the biggest question. Obviously, you want size and you want speed and you want athleticism, and John Collins give you all of that at the power forward position. But you also lost one of your best players and one of the guys that understood how to play their role, understood what he needed to do out there on the court when he was out there, didn't whine, didn't complain, and went out there and competed and gave you his best. And it's hard to replace that. But we have a league where there are a lot of perimeter players and they are at an abundance, and we've seen that even in the draft. So if they wanted another guy that can come in and score double figures, the Clippers really don't have that problem because they already have Harden. So now it's about, do you want Chris Paul or do you want another guard to be your head leader of your offense to go with Kawhi Leonard and obviously James Harden? And if you're a Clipper fan, you just want Kawhi Leonard working on his body this offseason and getting rest so he can heal up and be the best version of himself. And this should be one of his best regular seasons if he approach it that way. Instead of putting in a lot of practice, putting in a lot of training, he just need to continue to get his body right. And they got eliminated early in the playoffs in the first round. So he has had a lot of time to get his body right, to give you his best season in years is all you can be hoping. And if that happens, this trade might make a lot of sense. But we do know James Harden knows how to manipulate the defenses to his own will. And he also knows how to find bigs like Capella. Well, in this situation, it would still be Zubac, who he paired with really amazingly last year. And I think John Collins would just fit into that mode too, offensively. Now, defensively, I don't think he's going to be the greatest. I think Ty Lue and these guys can get in his head and make him want to play harder, make him want to compete more. Obviously, they're in a winning situation compared to Utah, which we don't really know how they're going to play and how they're going to be. And the Clippers have shown that they're going to be one of the best in the West as long as they have decent players around Ty Lue. And I don't think that's something we're going to question, even if Kawhi Leonard does miss 15 to 20 games. They will still figure out how to win enough of them, most likely. And even if they don't, they can still be a playing team and still be a threat because the West can just be that tough regardless for anybody. And we've seen that last year when the Golden State Warriors beat the number 2 Rockets. Powell is on a $20 million expiring contract from his 5-year, $90 million deal that he actually signed with the Portland Trail Blazers. Powell will also provide the Heat additional shot creation. And obviously, this is a man that can get you 20 points. The Heat did struggle putting the ball in the basket outside of Tyler Hero. Sometimes Bam was a little bit too concerned with helping his teammates out instead of being aggressive. So it is good having another guy that you can screen for that can hit a three off the dribble, hit a mid range off the dribble, or get all the way to the paint for a floater, a layup, or a dunk. And he's good enough to make his free throws too. So this is a real good deal for the Heat to get a quality guard that really understands how to play at the highest level. And he proved that, multiple times in his career. He is a dependable scorer in this league, and I don't think that's going to change even with the Heat culture being in effect. If anything, it should amplify it and make him a better player because they actually need him to come in and help them, each and every night. And this is a player type that they needed on the perimeter, and now they get it without really giving up much. Honestly and truthfully, Kevin Love and Kyle Anderson, just role players. Um, Norman Powell has the ability to be a star, so I look at that as an upgrade. And then they also didn't even have to give up a pick. They just gave up two guys that were just sitting on their bench, basically, not really playing too big of a role for them. Even though Kyle Anderson had a bigger role than Kevin Love for them, he wasn't the greatest fit, and Kevin Love is just getting older and just can't do the things that he used to do. And the Jazz was mainly doing it to get a pick and get off that John Collins contract because Collins' contract is 26.6 million and it is expiring. But if you can get a second round pick for John Collins, you're not going to complain about that, especially when you're in a rebuilding situation. He also signed his contract with the Atlanta Hawks, but he moved to the Utah Jazz because he got traded there. Collins will give the Clippers more depth in the front court last season. John Collins did average 18.9 points and 8.2 rebounds in 30 minutes, and he only played over 40 games last year for the Utah Jazz. The Clippers have been linked with Bradley Beal if he gets bought out, just to put that out there, by the Phoenix Suns as he's expected, as well as Chris Paul. I just said that before. Chris Paul might be a Clipper. We have to see. Obviously, he wants to live in LA. Clippers play in LA. They got their own identity. They have a team that can legitimately be tough to beat in the Western Conference. This probably is the best chance for him to still get quality minutes and still play a big role on a team while still having a chance to win a championship. And if Bradley Beal gets to this team and Chris Paul, they definitely are going to be legitimate contenders in the Western Conference. If both of those things do happen, Kevin Love would likely be bought out by the Jazz, and he most likely will get picked up because he still is a guy that can rebound and space the floor in a marginal role for another NBA team. So I do see him getting picked up by another team in the future. And I also wanted to say that Ryan Rollins and the Milwaukee Bucks did agree to a 3-year, $12 million deal. Kind of makes sense. They needed some depth. They have that now with Ryan Rollins. Again, the Bucks are trying to get the best players that they can to help their team out because they still feel like they gotta contend because they still have Giannis Antetokounmpo on their roster and they want to keep him happy so that he can stay and continue to make them a good team in the Eastern Conference. They're going for 10 straight playoff appearances this year, and it makes sense for them to go all in on whoever they can get that they like. And Ryan Rollins is actually a decent player, and it makes sense. It is a deal that makes a little bit of sense. In his final 10 games of the regular season with Damian Lillard sideline, Rollins averaged 12 points and 4 assists on 58% shooting from three. Some of them numbers are not going to be realistic. It was only a 10-game sample size, but I can see him replicating the double figures in points because somebody's going to have to score for the Bucks. If they give him a role and they give him an opportunity, he's going to have a chance to shine because all he has to do is play off Giannis and just be prepared to score whenever he gets that chance. And that's all that really matters. The Wizards and Jameer Watkins agreed to a two-way deal. So they're basically giving him a decent contract um, for his beginning of his career. Noah Pinda and agrees to a 4-year, $8.7 million deal. You normally don't want to agree to a deal this low for that many years, but when you're trying to be a millionaire and you're trying to make a living off basketball, this is a good introduction for him, and they was able to get it done. He's basically guaranteed the first 2 years at 3.4 million. There is a trigger date for the third year and a team option on the fourth year. They drafted him number 32 after acquiring him from the Celtics. So they liked him, they wanted him, and they was able to get him on a cheap contract. This guy has upside, he has potential, and now they get to see what they're going to get on a cheap contract that's even team friendly. So you can't really argue about that. Lakers and Abdul Theoro, I think that's how you say his name, agree on a 3-year, 5.9, well, $95 million deal. The Lakers ended up getting him locked up early. They selected him number 36 in the draft after acquiring him from the Minnesota Timberwolves. The first 2 years of the deal is guaranteed with a team option for the third year. He did average 15 and 5 for Arkansas in college, so maybe some of those things can transfer. Maybe he can be their Dorian Finney-Smith. That's what they're probably hoping. But the only difference is they're gonna be paying him a whole lot less money than they will have to pay for Dorian. And that's what happens when you get those college players that already know who they are, already know what they can do, and you just plug them in with a good supporting cast, and they can just come in and help you right away. Suns did waive Plowden from a two-way contract. Suns also fully guarantee Nick Richards $5 million. I think that's very, very good to see. Um, Other than that, Chris Paul wants to play one more season to give it a chance, and that's about it. Um, and that's the biggest news around the NBA. And it was fun letting y'all know how I feel about it. And I'm glad to be able to tell y'all. And thank y'all for making time for me. Thank y'all for appreciating the content for what it is. Thank y'all for continuing to come back and watch the content. And don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell for more analysis. And if you're new to the channel, I also do conversation videos just like this and various NBA only topics. I also do breakdowns with real footage of legends, current legends, rookies, also future stars. Also do mock drafts and draft coverage. So you love that type of stuff. You can't get enough of NBA only content. This is the channel for you to watch and keep up with and enjoy, because I have over 3,000 plus videos already on my channel. Plus, I also upload every single day that I'm living. So if I wake up and I'm living that day, you most likely will get a video from this channel. And that's something that people love about it. Look at this channel as a form of entertainment too. And I don't really blame you if you do, because if you love talking about basketball and you love basketball videos, this channel will keep you happy and keep you having something to look forward to each and every day. And that's my goal. And I have been able to do that basically for almost 10 plus years. And I have been going hard on this channel for 12 plus years. So let's continue that. And thank y'all for continuing to come back, staying subscribed, or even checking out the channel for the first time. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed y'all weekend. As quick as that can be is already over. And hopefully you guys actually had some fun. Hopefully you guys are setting new goals, have something to look forward to, getting your rest, staying locked in and focused, and also having some leisure and some fun in there too in your days and in your weeks. Other than that, I'm going for now. See you guys later today with that summer league analysis. 2 games on the day. I'm going to cover both of those games later today. So if you have something that you don't, have to look forward to, at least you can look forward to that at the end of the day. And I'm looking forward to it too, because I think those are going to be 2 good games, and hopefully they are. Other than that, y'all stay blessed up. Y'all stay good, and I'll see you guys later today with more analysis. Peace out. Gone.